Oh, don't give me those. I think this is great. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is our second talk on the collaborative partnership. Today, we are both a little bit tired from being sick. We had a week of the entire family being sick, but we want to stay committed to holding our talks. And so today we're gonna talk about connection, and especially like I'm gonna like jump right in. So this by the way, these talks we're gonna hold them every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and they are warm-up calls for our free 6-week couples workshop that any of you can attend. It's a live workshop, so it's not like a recorded thing. It's live taught online with us and a group of amazing people. And if you want to sign up for it, you can do so on our website, which is kirkmanhoodcoaching.com. And Kirkman, KERKMANN, Hood, HOOD, and then coaching.com.
And if you're on Instagram, the link is in our bio to learn more about the class or sign up.
Yeah. And so I would say we've done so much work on our relationship, and Sasha and I have been together now for over 6 years, and we have created a child. We have lived in Germany and now in the US. We've worked for many years on a very difficult visa process. We've worked on these very difficult intercontinental moving processes together, and you definitely get to experience a lot of stress when you are in such big shifts together in your life. And I'm sure many of you know that as well. Like, you all are, if you're in a relationship, you all are working towards something, whether that's a house or a family or whatever it is. And sometimes we even forget that, like, we are inside of that and it's stressing us out. Maybe you're already like longer in your relationship, and you've forgotten that it's just stressful to just maintain your life, actually, like going to work every day, and you get into this routine and stop really like paying attention to each other on a deep level, and staying really connected on that level, where it's really nourishing and where it's really potent connection that like feeds the soul. And that's really what we want to talk about today, because we can be like connected-ish.
Yeah.
That's very easy.
I want to jump in and just add, like, I think the way this shows up for people is, well, I'll talk about myself and women, and like, you can talk about your experience. You probably have a similar version. The way this shows up is not like, oh, we're doing all this hard stuff and you haven't had time to put attention on it, although that could be a version, but more like, oh, if my partner would just do this thing differently, then I would be getting what I want in my relationship with him. Like, if he would be a little nicer, if he would be a little softer, if he would like talk to me in this certain way, you know, it's like, it's subtle, but it's an attempt to control, and it comes up in a lot of different ways. But I just want to acknowledge that, like, I think maybe I said this last week too, like, it can come up as like a complaint. And I always prided myself on like, oh, I don't complain to my husband, but I was complaining inside my head. And he is a deep feeling being. He is a man who is plugged in and tuned in and can feel what's happening. So even if I'm running a list of resentments in my head, that has an impact. And I think sometimes we brush that off as like, that's not impacting us. And then we have a fight or we have a difficulty, and we're like, this difficulty just came out of this one moment. But actually, it's a lot of backed up lack of attention, right? Lack of really like caring for and cultivating the energy between us and like caring for the relationship.
Right. And I think especially like a few years ago, like when we immigrated to the US, like we had a great relationship, and we had like a very deep bond in something very profound and big that we were creating. But I wasn't feeling very happy in our relationship. I wasn't feeling met.
Mm.
I wasn't feeling like I was like deprived of something that I didn't even know what it was. And in our workshop, we really gonna go into that. It's like there is a way in which a lot of couples don't even have the skill to address challenges with each other, to go into conflicts together and sit down and work these things out. And that's a very important aspect of it. Now, there is also another part where for us, that really led us for a while. We were really good at working out conflicts, but it led us to eventually be also very critical and like very in our heads and very like, I would say like mostly like working out conflicts all the time, but it didn't lead us to like a feeling of really deep, soft, vulnerable connection. And I think that's the other
And
the other
satisfaction,
part.
fulfillment. Like there's a feeling that we both were longing for
Mhm,
that we didn't know how to even name. Oh, this ingredient is missing.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think what's really, really important and is to create a space together where um, where our nervous system can feel safe. Where like because I notice in myself, like if Sasha starts like maybe she has a desire and she feels like that desire is something that is not that I will not approve of, or she has said it before, now she's irritated, she has to say it again. And even just like a slight sharpness in her tone can lead me to like get tight, get defensive, um, and retract in myself. And when that happens, really like it's an immediate shift in the relationship where I can't feel her and she can't feel me anymore, and we are interacting from this level of yeah, like uh triggeredness,
Right.
slight reactiveness. Like we might be still like really functioning all together,
Right.
but it's not the energy isn't flowing between
Yeah,
our
we're really
parts.
working from our heads, right? And there's like a disconnection of like what's happening everywhere else.
Mhm,
And we might be talking and processing and trying to get the person to understand us, but we're not actually feeling. Like I wasn't feeling my own body in that place. And I was so unaware that I wasn't feeling my own body.
and I think there's a lot of I think there's a lot of men out at the moment. There's such a mixed message these days around what masculinity really means. And I wanna say a few things about that as well, because I think really what our emphasis is masculinity, like masculine leadership, or the man being in his like leader, is very important. It's like it's good if a man is like, this is what we're gonna do, but I have to, and I'm assertive and I am also firm and stable. Like if that's the case, and like I'm handling my responsibilities, right, and I'm like fully showing up in my life, like I'm connected to my purpose and all of that, that's all really important, super important actually, like in order to have any kind of um good sex life flowing between us, like that's really important. Like I gotta be like in here. Same for her though, right? Like you also have to have that kind of like, I am right with my sex, I'm right with my body, I'm right with who I am as a woman.
Mhm.
So we look at this stuff often kind of like detached from gender, but those are qualities that are very important. Now, the other thing is, I think it is super important as well for a man to be able to access my softness, access my feelings. And I think for a lot of men I that I work with, I see they are in relationships, and it's always somewhat like a critical space that they are in, always kind of like receive a lot of complaining, a lot of like what they're not doing good, and their homeostasis has become a armor of defensiveness. And um, for me, that was also the case for a really long time. And I know that once Sasha starts to soften and really take care that she can be, that she values me as a human, not just as a man who's stable, but also as a human and cares about what my feelings are too, there's an entire different level of softness and vulnerability that I can access. And that's really where our relationship starts. It has to start from like a place of softness, and then this assertiveness and the direction and the masculine guidance can really come in and like create from that place.
Yeah.
But first we have to know, how do we feel about things, where are we, where do we stand together.
Yeah. And I think like for me, I really had to feel the impact, not just like understand it intellectually, but feel the impact of how I was treating you and how I was showing up. And that like for me personally, but I think this is true for most women, like we actually crave to do this in community with women. Like we need community to really wake up and be able to see what's happening. Like we can do a certain level of work together. That's really important, but we can't do 100% of the work we need to do if we're just here. We actually need reflections from other women, other couples. We need to be seeing what we're doing in other people's experiences to really understand ourselves, to really, for me, it was like in an embodied way, feel the impact of me not treating your desire as sacred, of me not, like the words that come to mind for me are having a level of disrespect for what you were offering, and I think this has been coming off for us personally in layers of me learning to understand, um, you know, that like I like to use the word like not in a subservient way, but in an honoring way, right? In a really honoring the masculine and honoring what he's creating and providing in his vision, right? Like your vision for our lives is like we each have an ingredient to offer, right? You have this vision and I bring something that's really located in my body. That's actually my contribution. Is it doesn't mean I don't also bring a lot of desire and feelings and wishes. Of course, that's all there, but it's about me dropping in fully to my body, because when I'm in that place, I show up so differently with you, and I have such a different approach to not trying to effort and push to get what I want, but just feeling first as my primary task, and then being able to come to you and share vulnerably and be open with you and be in my emotion with you.
Right, right. Yeah. And it really starts it really starts by like us learning how can we actually connect first, and then start to create from that place.
Yeah.
And move into our lives. And yeah, our upcoming workshop, which is going to be And March starts in March, 6 week long, and it's completely free. There's a call once a week for 6 weeks, and it's live. You're gonna work with us, and you're also gonna be inside of a group of people from whom you're gonna learn a lot, seeing other people, how they relate, what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So inspiring. It's incredible inspiring. And in that workshop, we really learn. We go in and we work out some of the knots, like what's really in the way, and then we're gonna learn how to some of the practices that we do to get us really connected, some of the principles and ways that we respect and use to have these conversations that like really get us to understand each other. And I think that's one thing that we didn't talk about today, but that's really important, is like, do I really understand and see my partner? Like, because that's really the key to staying soft with each other, is that level of compassion, which I can only have if I really understand and see my partner. We talked about that last week a little bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're interested in that, check out our website, or on whatever platform you are on.
We can link the website in the comments.
It's either in the comments or in the bio. Go on our website and you can sign up right on the website for our free workshop. It's KerkmanHoodCoaching.com. KerkmannHood and then coaching.com. And I think that's it for this week. If you have any questions, or you are interested in having us talk next week about anything in specific, or then let us know what questions you have in the comments, and we will happily address that next time.
Okay.
Lots of love, and see you next time, next Tuesday again, 10 a.m. Pacific time.